Futuristic family, what's up? Shout out to all the fellow human beings out there. Oh, let me take off my cool for a minute. Welcome back. It's been about a year since we finished. Well, it's been about a year since we first recorded our first Viewology episode. So now we're coming back with season 2. We just want to welcome everybody back. Thank you all for returning to come get some more of our inspirational material. We're definitely coming back with a lot of new topics. We might even touch on some topics that we did last season, but with a different perspective, a different angle. Like I said, it's been an entire year, and so much has changed in my life in the past year. I'm sure a lot has changed in your lives in the past year, and just a lot has changed in the world. So just because we thought about something a particular way a year ago, that doesn't mean that still holds true today. For those of you who are returning and know about the channel, know about the content, and about the way that I deliver material, you know that I like to take a very authentic, genuine approach. So I ain't ashamed to say that, you know, my perspective might have changed, or maybe that I was wrong about something. So that's what we're here for season 2. For those of you who are joining us as new subscribers, new viewers, welcome to the future. The future is how you view your future. So, you know, I'm going to be referring to you as human beings. This is a Viewology episode. Everything is about views. So,
Hey Daddy.
What's up?
Fix the basketball.
I'll be in there in a second, alright? Can I finish doing this video? Alright, I'll be in there in a second.
Bye-bye.
Peace out, dude.
Fix the basketball.
Alright, I'll be there in a minute. Alright, see? Anything can happen on the Futuristic Viewology YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about taking a loss like a winner. It sounds like an oxymoron, right? Yeah, I know. Reason I want to talk about that is because taking a loss is all in your attitude. Bruce Lee, as you know, those of you who have been viewing the channel before, you already know Bruce Lee is one of my favorite people to quote. He's one of my favorite people to study. Just his outlook on life it resonates very strongly with me. One thing that Bruce Lee has always said is defeat is a state of mind, and no one has fully been defeated until defeat has been accepted as a reality. And that's aligned with how you view the losses that you might take in life. We've all taken losses in life, and I guarantee anyone who you admire, anyone who you idolize, anyone who you look up to, they've taken losses too. I know this is pretty cliche, but take Michael Jordan for example. Dude was cut from his high school basketball team. I believe it was high school basketball team. Ended up being, you know, considered, or I'm not saying considerably, I think he's the greatest basketball player of all time. You know, people have their different opinions on that as well. But nonetheless, he's become mentioned as one of the greatest basketball players of all times, who was cut from his high school basketball team. Now think about that. Think about when you were in high school, or even if you are a viewer and you are currently in high school, this is one of the most socially important times in your life. This is the time where you discover who you are. This is the time where you find your social group that you'll identify with. This is the time when most people explore themselves and develop the identity of who they'll become as adults. Of course, some of the things that we did in high school, hopefully we shed some of those things as we mature. But for the most part, that's where you construct your personality and your identity. Think of what blow it would be to your ego to get cut from a basketball team, if that's something that you're so passionate about. That could set a lot of people back. So the difference between a winner and a loser in a situation like that is what they do after that situation. After he was cut from the basketball team, that served as a catalyst to motivate him to become better, to prove them wrong. And unfortunately, some people, when they take a loss in life, they feel that that's an end-all be-all, and they just stop right there, never going further to examine or reaching the full potential that they probably could have had. Another person, Bruce Lee, once again, I mentioned him earlier. In his career, he ended up suffering a very crucial back injury. And after that back injury, the doctors told him that he would never be able to perform martial arts again. That's a fucking lie, because during that time, not only did he motivate himself that he will go back to practicing martial arts, but that's when he wrote several of his books that have come to be famous by Bruce Lee. He also, this is when he plotted in his mind the plots for the 4.5 movies that he would star in after recovering from that injury. Who else can I think of? Steve Jobs. Dude was like fired from Apple, but now when you think of Apple, you think of Steve Jobs, and that's a huge loss. But you know, a saying that really resonates with me as well is, if you change the way that you view the world around you will change. That's the way that you can change things. And depending upon your attitude in any given circumstance towards a loss, that's going to determine whether you succeed or whether you truly become, or whether that truly becomes a loss or not. Whether you become a success or whether you become a failure. It's all about what you do from that point on. Myself, I mean, I've suffered several losses in my life. When I first started college, I didn't make it all the way through. I had to drop out for multiple reasons, multiple times actually. The first time that I stopped going to college, back that up, it was actually the second time. The second time that I had to stop going to college, I went to pursue what at the time was one of the biggest dreams of my life, and that was going to be a pilot in the Air Force. I ended up getting injured while I was in boot camp, and I didn't even make it past boot camp stage. So that was a huge loss for me, a loss, as a matter of fact, that took several years for me to truly get over. But even after that, I attempted several times to get back into the military. It didn't work in my favor. However, I didn't let that stop me in my tracks and allow me to just become stagnant, or I didn't become complacent with where I was in my life. So with that loss, you know, I took that, I ended up coming back, I went back to school, I finished my degree, ended up going on to get a master's degree, ended up earning a certification in personal training. Like, I took that opportunity to collect myself and think of, you know, where I went wrong for one, even though what happened to me in boot camp, those were circumstances beyond my control. But when I came back from suffering that loss, I had to recollect myself and say, hey, you know, what am I going to do from this point on to make sure that the next thing that I do isn't a loss, or the next thing that I do isn't a failure. And you know, that takes a lot of discipline too. We'll talk about discipline in another video, because I know my cameraman behind there is telling me my time is running out. So I'm going to wrap that up here. We definitely look forward to seeing some of your comments. We are looking forward to all you new subscribers to the Futuristic YouTube channel. Make sure you hit us up on Gmail at send us any questions you may have, any topic requests, and
Subscribe.